Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Welcome to Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week, Dan. But this one's getting real this week.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite weeks, you know? You and Cooper typically write the news. This is one of my faves this week, simply because I love the drama. I love the drama around Bill and Melinda Gates. I love all of that. I live for all of this.
I don't really care about the drama, but the weirdness is appealing to me.
But that is the drama of how weird it actually is.
Well, there was no drama for a very long time. Everybody just kind of accepted this. So.
Oh, and we call that a tease in the biz. We're going to get to that story later. But first up, the trial of Derek Chauvin. And that's the first time I think I've ever gotten his name right.
I think it's
maybe ever.
Chauvin? I don't know how you say it.
I think it's Chauvin. I think I was saying Chauvin for a while, like he was like a French waiter in the Riviera. Might not be over. This trial might not be over. On Tuesday, his defense attorney, Eric Nelson, filed a motion seeking a new trial and requested Chauvin's conviction to be thrown out. He argues that he was not given a fair trial for multiple reasons, including the publicity surrounding the case, failure to sequester the jury, and jury misconduct. It was recently discovered that a member of the jury, Brandon Mitchell, had previously attended BLM protests and had taken part in marches or demonstrations against police brutality. Mitchell also made an appearance on the show Get Up Mornings, with there's a hyphen in there, which is a fun thing, where he claimed, if we want to see some change, we got to get out there and get into these avenues and get into these rooms and try to spark some change. On the opposite side of the arguments, the old Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is seeking a more severe sentence for Chauvin. That's the second-degree murder charge, which obviously carries a maximum of 40 years on that one. Look, I saw the shirt that he was wearing at the rally. It said, "Get off my neck," or
"Get your knee off our necks."
Yeah.
Which is the reason that is notable is because it's
for George Floyd.
Yeah, it's a direct correlation to this specific case. Now, the whole thing with jury intimidation with Maxine Waters and all those idiots outside screaming. The fact that it was allowed in the first place is an embarrassment, but that wouldn't be enough to overturn, I don't think. One of the jurors going to rallies specifically regarding this case is a problem for the prosecution now. It's a problem because there's literally no chance that the defense team did not ask every single juror if they had been involved with BLM or been to protests or whatever. And if he answered yes and said no, then it's a mistrial. Basically, it's not a matter of debate. That's just a mistrial. And
could you imagine if that happens?
It seems likely. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be rough.
It's going to be crazy. You know, I said this when we were doing the live verdicts because we just happened to be in studio and we were going live that day. I said, which one of the jurors is going to come out first and speak? Who's going to take the money? I thought all of them would have taken the money and gone on like 60 Minutes. It turns out it was just this guy who decided to come out and speak. And the one guy who decided to come out and speak is the guy that they were able to dig into and be like, wait a minute, weren't you at all these things, doing all this stuff, saying all this, like, they're kind of fucked on this one. So I don't know which way this is going to go, because if you say it's a mistrial, right, which legally it should be at this point, the city will burn. Kamala Harris and Biden called the family right after the verdict. They called the day before, during the deliberations. That city will burn to the ground, and there will be protests in every single city, and it could get really, really bad. Now I'm asking because I don't know. What is the timeline on something like this to declare a mistrial or possibly get a new trial?
That's a good question. I don't know. But I mean, even if there is a mistrial, there will be a new trial. A mistrial doesn't mean you're free. right?
Right.
I mean, a mistrial means you have to retry the case.
But does Chauvin get to go home then and then come back for the trial? Like, what happens then, I guess?
No, he's still charged with second-degree murder.
Okay, so he'll still be in prison?
Yeah, the judge still, well, he would be in jail at that point, but the judge still has the option to grant or deny bail, and they're not going to grant it. I mean, to be honest, if they did, he would need full-time security anyway. He's better off staying where the fuck he is.
In prison?
Yeah.
Oof. Man.
He's isolated.
Yeah, obviously.
So one thing we discovered doing this research is that in Minnesota, you can only be sentenced for the most serious charge, which was second-degree murder, which is up to 40 years in prison. Now, this guy is, what is he, like 50 or 45 or some shit?
In his 40s, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you got that, I don't know what the outside limits are for good behavior and parole and stuff like that, but I imagine it would be pretty far out. But in this circumstance, I don't think he would die in prison, to be honest.
Maybe. Man, yeah, look, you never know. I'm always shocked by how long people are able to live in prison, where I'm like, like the Bernie Madoff thing. He was like, he made it to 82, and he was in jail for 15, 20 years. I was like, I didn't think he'd make it that long.
Keith Ellison, by the way, is he's just a fucking turd. He's been a turd for a long time. He's the attorney general there now, but he was a congressman there for a while as well. I think he was the first Muslim congressman in U.S. history, actually. Has a long history of saying stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to go for a special circumstances thing here to tack on years, which would be that Floyd was a particularly vulnerable victim and was treated with particular cruelty by, those are key phrases in those rulings. I don't know why he would be considered a particularly vulnerable victim unless you mean that he was a crackhead.
Or he had 20 drugs in his system?
Yeah, that's not exactly a great argument on your behalf. I'm not sure what they're... I don't understand this, why people try to fucking make martyrs out of shitbags. You know what I mean?
Look,
two things can be wrong at the same time.
Yeah.
I've walked into arguments between two people. I'm like, you're both fucking stupid. Shut up. And this is one of those situations. That guy was a piece of shit, and that cop didn't do his job properly, clearly. Now, whether it rises to the level of these charges, I think we've spoken exhaustively on that, and I'm kind of tired of hearing about this shit, to be honest. But the people of Minnesota are in trouble now because they fucked this case up. The prosecution fucked this case up, and that guy lied, and he's in trouble too. That juror, he's fucked. I don't know what the charge is when you do something like that, but I would assume that you're answering those questions under oath, which is perjury.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a problem for him. He should probably go to jail. And they're going to have to probably retry this case. I don't see any way they don't retry this case now.
I don't either, unless the verdict is so big that a call was made saying, "Hey, the country was on edge. Let's not put it back."
He's going to appeal to a federal court immediately after that happens.
But that'll be years from now, and I think that's enough for them.
No, I mean we'll see. He'll apply. Or he'll appeal to a federal court, and then he'll appeal to the Supreme Court, and he will win. Sure.
Correct, but that it takes a very, very long time, and I think at that point, it will be out of enough people's memories where they're like, all right, let the legal process play out, because you're looking to go to a Supreme Court, you're looking in 5-6 years down the road.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to let it go that long. There's no way.
When you're fighting to get to the Supreme Court, it is a very long time.
The Supreme Court gets to choose what cases it does and doesn't take.
Right. So,
I mean,
I don't know what's on their docket as far as...
Well, the federal courts nearby, that's the real problem, because Biden rather can decide what does and doesn't get pushed through in federal courts.
Yeah.
He can't control the Supreme Court, but he can control the regional federal courts. And I'm sure they'll fucking try to do whatever they can to keep this from happening. The idea that it's too important to overturn based on something like that is just a miscarriage of justice. It undercuts everything that we stand for in this country. I don't really give two fucks about Chauvin or however you say his name. Don't care if he even exists or not, to be honest. But you don't make the rules for people you like. You make it for everybody. and they get applied for everybody. And if they don't, then at some point somebody you don't like is going to be in charge, and they won't get applied properly for you. That's how it works.
Yeah, and I agree with you. In this case here, I think they'll let it drag out. But yeah, legally speaking, this is exactly what should happen.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
it's all rigged anyways, bro.
If it doesn't,
the game is rigged anyways.
If it doesn't get overturned, and there are, people that are conservative civil liberties people, you should be at the home of every fucking politician in that state, every judge in that state, every fucking BLM person, and every BLM leader in that state protesting, right? Because that's what they do.
Yeah, but who has time for it? You got to work.
Well, we'll pay somebody maybe.
You got to work. That's the thing. And like, I've accepted the fact that most of it is rigged. I woke up this morning and there was the DOJ case in Maricopa County. I was trending for a little bit. I read brief snippets of it of how they were doing this audit on the vote, and something happened, and Biden sent in the DOJ there. Somebody leaked the info from this Maricopa County, and then the story just disappeared off the fucking internet. And I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, well, the game is entirely rigged, because they own the media, and then they own social media, and then the next story goes into that. Facebook upholds the ban on President Donald J. Trump. They can do whatever they want. Facebook's independent oversight board has decided to uphold its ban on Donald Trump's account after he was originally removed from Facebook and Twitter following the January 6th riot at the Capitol. The board found that Trump's posts had violated Facebook's rules, but also questioned whether or not the ban should be indefinite and insisted the company find a new resolution within 6 months. According to the report by the Oversight Board, it is not permissible for Facebook to keep a user off the platform for an undefined period with no criteria for when or whether the account will be restored. Now, what that sounds like is that they're just making up their own rules as they go, Facebook, because there was nothing set in place before this. Now, this is what this oversight board is saying. And then Facebook's VP of Global Affairs responded saying the company will now consider the board's decision and determine an action that is clear and proportionate. In the meantime, Mr. Trump's accounts will remain suspended. The board also recommended that Facebook should publicly explain the rules used for imposing bans on accounts for influential users. Twitter, meanwhile, has shown no indication that they plan to review the decision to ban Trump. This will definitely cause issues if Trump follows through with his intention to run for office again in 2024. Shit. Saying that out loud, I was like, dude, it's already 21. It's not that far away. Election season starts in like a year and a half. Yeah, with all of this, look, Facebook is clearly making up the rules as they go. You know, we had one of our groups pulled, multiple groups pulled for Drinkin Bros for no really apparent reason. And they were private groups, so it wasn't like they were public. You know, this wasn't showing up in people's feeds that didn't want it to be there and all that other stuff. And the explanations are always very, very vague. And then if you try to challenge them on things, like there's a couple posts that I got pulled from my own personal page that I tried to challenge them on. I got a response from Facebook saying, due to COVID, we don't have enough workers to physically look through all of these posts and protest on these posts. So sorry, thanks, try again later. I mean, that's all I got out of this. One of them wasn't even political.
Yeah, I mean, it's here's the problem Facebook has now. If they come out, if they do what this board says and create a clear doctrine on what will and will not get somebody banned, for example, and then you apply that to Trump, anytime he can make a case in court, it's opening the floodgates for lawsuits because people will start suing because they're not applying them correctly. If he can say, prove that I did X, Y, or Z, and if they don't have concrete evidence, they just think he did, then they're fucked, right?
Right.
Not only do they have to pay restitution for that, for the lost revenue or whatever it happens to be, now they have to let the person back onto their platform, and now they're going to be under a microscope. And Trump will hire an entire legal team just to do that all the time, challenge everything Facebook does.
And it'll be paid for, by the way, during if he does run again, by the campaign because that's where a lot of campaign funding goes, is to ads on social media. So what do you do then? What if he does decide to run? A mysterious trailer dropped maybe 48 hours ago that Trump was having a new social media platform that was free for all. They haven't said what it is yet or where it's going to be, but that it was coming very soon. Which, obviously he got approval from the server and the money and everything else. It probably won't be on any phones, one would imagine, right? Like a Parler or something.
No, I wouldn't expect so.
But what's the decision going to be on that? There is so many things that you can challenge legally, but you're going to get to a point where if he does decide to run in 2024, which he did an interview the other day on Candace Owens' show, has not done a full-length interview in a while. She asked the question, are you going to run in 2024? And he said, look, I can't announce anything yet because it's too early due to funding things. People will automatically start sending you money to run and all that other stuff. And he goes, so I want to wait because election season is getting close. But he goes, I think people will be very, very happy with what I'm going to do in my decision, which means he's probably going to run.
Yeah, that's great.
So with that,
super,
you're going to be able to go into social media apps and sue all of these guys and say, all right, well, the politicians aren't getting enough fair time. Now, this happened with the big four networks, CBS, Fox, ABC, and then back in the day, where they have to give equal time to each candidate on television and an equal amount of coverage, including the debates. Why is that not going to be the same for social media then?
Well, that's the only good thing, I guess, if you want to consider anything good about him potentially running again, is that it's going to force the court's hand in a lot of this stuff. It's going to force courts to finally designate social media as a public utility. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's one silver lining in all this, but honestly, it's just, it's like, this is basically like an episode of Jersey Shore now, where Snooki's talking in the fucking bar and talking shit, and then somebody punches her in the face, and then more people show up and talk even louder, and nothing ever gets done. It's just a bunch of squawking fucking twats. That's it. Yeah. Nonsense. This is all nonsense, and it's gonna. The only decent thing that could possibly come out of this is that tech companies are forced to be considered as a public utility. If you, for example,
that is great for us, though. So that is what I want to happen.
Well, the example you gave about equal time in media, when social media is considered a public utility and thus media, then that has to be the same as well. Mm-hmm. Right? Like broadcast television,
yep,
and this would be considered public utilities, and they wouldn't be, regardless of what he said, whether he's violating their terms of service or not. Like, he can get fined by something, the FCC or some shit, but you can't keep him off television. Yeah. And if you do, you have to ban Biden as well.
Yeah.
Or whomever happens to run then. Maybe they'll do that. I mean, I frankly, if they just banned all politicians from social media, I'd be into that.
How would you do it then, I guess? Old school, door-to-door, carnival barker type shit?
Yeah, just walk up, slap them in the face, and take the phone out of their hand and stomp it on the ground. If they buy a new one, do it again.
For real. What's the fucking... How high are you today? On a scale of 1 to Cheech.
I'm pissed off today.
Why?
Because of this stupid bullshit. I'm tired of hearing about fucking Donald Trump and Joe Biden and all these stupid cunts.
It's not going away. So unless you live in another country, buckle the fuck up. This is the next 10 years. For sure he's going to fucking run. For sure he's going to run. I don't know another candidate out there who can compete at this point. Biden, on the other hand, it's just a matter if he can stay alive. I think if he stays alive, he'll give it a go for another 4 years.
I don't think so, man. I don't think Biden can run again. Like, he looks bad. I just don't see how he achieves running again. Like, how it's one thing to be able to be hidden day to day, but on a campaign where there's no COVID, they can't do the same shit in 2024 that they did this year. Or in 2020, rather. There's no fucking way. You can't hide a guy for an 18-month election cycle.
I agree. Not
when there's no reason for him to stay indoors. And the presumption will be then that he's old and sick. They're not going to run him because people will think he's old and sick and they'll elect somebody else.
Yeah. And look, one of Trump's strengths is going out on the campaign trail and meeting people and drawing huge crowds. Who is that guy in the Republican Party? With Gates down, and because I don't think Gates is getting back up from this scandal.
You're talking about a vice presidential candidate?
No. I'm talking about a presidential candidate from the Republican Party right now. I would say probably DeSantis would be the strongest choice, just because of the way he handled the COVID stitch in Florida.
Well, I mean, it's a total waste of time to speculate about it now, because who the fuck knows what's going to happen for the next 3 years? You know, DeSantis may have a collection of little fucking shoes at his house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, we don't know,
and we'll find out about that later. Yeah, I don't know. DeSantis would certainly be the front runner if it happened today.
Yeah, and then there's also rumors out there that he would be the VP because he was in Mar-a-Lago chatting with him, Trump's VP, because he wouldn't go back to Pence.
If the Republicans are smart, they'll nominate Nikki Haley and have DeSantis as her VP. That's what I would do. That's the only choice that really makes any sense right now.
Could work, yeah, but just based on that Candace Owens interview, because I watched it, just based on that interview, it definitely does sound like he's going to run again. And then I don't know what the social media platform is yet. I don't know what that's going to be. If it's a one-person thing where it's just his site, or if it's a full type of Twitter thing for all, we'll see what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way, we got some sponsors to pay for the shit wagon to be on the air. GhostBed.com/Drinkin Bros will get you 30% off everything in the entire store. We're going to have Rich on the show. We're going to have Rich from GhostBed on the show. Yeah, in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into all the shit with Rich. We've been with those guys for 3 years, and I love him. He's never come here. He's never come and visited.
It's been years.
Years.
No, he never came to Salt Lake or San Antonio or Wilmington or here.
No. Come on out, Rich. No, so he'll be here in studio, and it's cool. To be fair, though, I think Rich came on maybe a year and a half ago, I think I met the other guys, but I haven't had Rich. So I'm gonna have him come on here and give him the Drinkin' Bro of the week, because we don't get any complaints about GhostBed ever. Hardly ever. And when you go to their website at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros, it's all reviews from listeners. So shit, it's people who listen to the show. It's not like strangers or whatever. And you can ask them. Right now, if you buy a mattress, you're getting 2 free pillows. They've always got awesome deals going on over there. And then pop in that promo code Drinkin' Bros at checkout. You might get a little bonus, something extra. You never know. What you do know is they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest there at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. And you can couple all those deals together and get the mattress set of your life. It comes out to about like $35.
I'm going to have to get this Matrix. I didn't know at first that it was still a cooling mattress.
Yeah, the 3D Matrix. Yeah.
But apparently it is, so I guess I'm going to have to get one now.
Got to get it. Hammer the like button if you're watching on YouTube, by the way. Next up.
Wait, speaking of DeSantis, did you see the news today? He signed an EO that's going to give a $1,000 bonus to all first responders in Florida.
No shit.
Yeah, so police, fire, nurse, etc.
He's making all the right moves down there.
I mean, that's,
He's making all the right moves.
I feel like that's a reasonable thing to do, generally speaking. At such a tumultuous time, you might read into it and say he's trying to bribe those people, right? But or the people who support them. But I mean, that's kind of what politics is. You make enough noise until somebody the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's the fucking phrase in the government. So
you know what's weird about this one? I don't even care if it's a bribe. Give those fucking people $1,000, man. Like that was, going through the pandemic and all the bullshit they had to do. Man,
Florida did a pretty good job too.
They did a great job. But remember,
they have the oldest population in the entire country, except for I think Maine or some shit. I don't remember who the first one is.
But remember all the bullshit extra they used to put on cops for all this shit, where it's just like rubber gloves and mask and it was like, dude, they have enough gear on them already. Yeah. Give them a fucking $1,000. Let them party.
I just think back to all the times that people didn't get taken care of, like during the 2016 presidential campaign. They were pulling in 1811s, which are special agents from every organization. It wasn't just Secret Service. It wasn't just, ICE guys were going there, fucking everybody, to do security details. Most of these people maxed out their, there's a rule that says that even with overtime, you can't make more than Congress as a federal employee.
Okay.
So they capped their overtime in February of 2016.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Man.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They capped their overtime the second month of the year?
Yeah, I mean, if you reach that limit,
when they reach the
when
limit.
you reach the limit, that's it, man.
Now, I'm not sure how they ended up handling that situation on the back end, comp time maybe or something like that, but it's still a federal law that you can't make more. And these people were expected to show up every day, knowing there's a good chance that they're never going to get paid for the work that they did.
Yeah.
Right. So when we get a chance to take care of these people, that's a good thing to do. And the reason I brought it up is because GhostBed has a long history of doing that as well.
Yeah. Dude, they've been doing shit for, all through the pandemic.
Before it was cool to do.
Oh, yeah, dude.
A long time before it was cool to do that shit. They were given veteran, military, police, fire discounts way before anybody else.
Anyone. So yeah, we're amped to have him in studio and all that shit. But get on DeSantis. I don't even care if it's a bribe. Give him a fucking $1,000. Let him go party. Either that or just do a foam pit party. You know, give him $1,000, have a foam pit party, and let him go fucking bug fuck down in Florida.
Bunch of ecstasy.
Yeah, it'd be great. Next up, Congress requests $2 billion for security, but can't explain what they will use it for. After requesting $2 billion, an emergency supplemental appropriation for increased security around the Capitol, Congress is still struggling to detail what the funds will actually be used for. Members of Congress have previously requested funds to improve security for themselves and the Capitol building, which ultimately resulted in perks for the members, which was a fun thing. After the attack on the Capitol that killed 2 officers in 1998, a $600 million project added underground security checkpoints, but also included the construction of a TV studio and private offices for their members. Sources reported a bulk of the money will be used to cover the costs incurred and necessary expenditures related to the January 6th riot. How long are they going to keep milking that goddamn thing?
The so-called insurrection, you mean?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, CNN wrote a story yesterday that was just, I mean, it was preposterous what they were saying. They were talking about,
that's all they have left.
They were talking about the Facebook thing, and they were speaking as if it was a foregone conclusion that Trump should be in jail basically for inciting a riot. I mean, that is just absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
It's patently false. Like you can say that he was too much of a smart ass, trying to be too cute, telling people to go home, but they still fucking did this or this. Like, whatever, man. And, you know, if you talk about influencing elections negatively or illegally, or at least amorally, it doesn't have to be voting machines being tampered with. It doesn't have to be people's ballots being stolen. If people are being blasted with propaganda from all the major media companies in this country, that's still a form of fucking voter fraud, in my opinion.
Or suppression, right? Or whatever you want to call it.
So you can get on board with all this fucking hubdub bullshit. I don't like Trump either, but what happened in this last election cycle was super fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the media flexing on you. And as soon as they got done doing that, they fucking went back to flexing on you for fucking COVID and all this other bullshit, trying to keep people afraid because, you know, that's their power. Fear is their power. You know what I mean? Fear and disinformation is their power, just like any other fucking authoritarian organization that's ever existed. Fear and disinformation. And to be honest, I'm not afraid of anybody in the media. Fuck these cunts, right? Stop listening to these goddamn people. Do some fucking research for yourself and learn a way to communicate with people where you can educate them on these facts without calling them a fucking libtard or some stupid shit like that. You think people are going to listen to you when you're like, we're a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. I say that shit on this show to get you guys hyped up, but you really have to learn how to communicate these things with people in a way that's not going to turn them off.
The problem is this. Where do you go for accurate news these days? Because I've had this same conversation with friends of mine. Where do you go? You almost have to go to like...
You don't need to know everything. You just need to know when something's not true. When CNN runs a story and says that Trump is directly responsible for an insurrection at the Capitol. One, you could say, hey, that wasn't an insurrection. That was a couple of fucking dum-dums. Two, he told him to go home like fucking 30 minutes before that. So you can say he might have been cute about it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just as important to be able to disprove misinformation than it is to actually have more information yourself, right? Because they're not just hiding information. The biggest thing they're doing is fucking warping information. That's the real problem here.
Right, but you're raised to trust the media, at least our generation.
If anybody is still doing that, then you're fucked, man. But quite a few people are.
Yes.
It looks like about 55, 60% of our country still have some level of faith in the media, depending on what issues you're talking about. That is an education program. You know what I mean? A lot of people used to hate gay people, and it took us a couple of years to turn. Once people decided in the early 2000s, like, this is kind of stupid, that shit was over pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
People are on the precipice. Everybody knows that the media is full of shit. They just, because they're afraid, because they're angry, they decide to believe when the media tells them something they like, and they fucking reject something the media tells them that they don't like. That's where we are right now. But the distrust in the media is already sowed, or already planted. It's time to sow those seeds. You know what I mean? It's time to fucking reap the harvest from all the distrust in the media and start realizing that we're not fighting each other, right? We're ants in a jar. When you put regular ants and fire ants in a jar together, they will just coexist. Won't fuck with each other. If you shake it up, the red ants and the black ants start attacking each other and they kill each other. But they never stop to think about who shook the jar, right? We're at a point right now where we can start educating people about who's shaking the jar.
But where do you go for news? So what, like, because again, I just had this conversation with a friend of mine. Where do you go? Where's the one source that is just pure news, facts, nothing else, no opinions? What is it?
That doesn't exist.
Exactly. And that's what
It's not going to exist, and it's never existed, ever. That's pining for that like it used to exist is nonsense. That's never been the case. I mean, I've detailed on this show how the Associated Press helped overturn a goddamn election for Rutherford B. Hayes, right? Because they didn't want Reconstruction to continue in the South. It was them and Western Union, by the way, two companies that still exist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like goddamn Volkswagen and Hugo Boss helping the Nazis, and everybody's just like, oh, not a big deal. Like, yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
Were those Nazi uniforms Hugo Boss?
Yeah. I mean, they were dope,
shit.
Right? They were pretty dope.
They were nice. I mean,
they didn't make bad clothes.
No, they still don't. I bought it. I have a Hugo Boss suit. Shit.
But anyway, there's no fucking, there's not going to be any pure source of news. That's not how it works. That's why you have to learn how to think. You have to learn how to think. You have to learn how to go find information, jettison the bullshit, and hold fast that way. This is a quote from the Bible, actually. Paul was telling his people, he was writing to the churches, the newly formed Christian churches. He said, study all things and hold fast to what's true. That's what he said. Take in all this information and then apply some rigorous academic criteria to it. Can they prove what they're saying? If not, don't believe it. That's it. Unless somebody's got direct fucking proof. It's that easy.
But therefore, what do you read? What is it? What's
I read
the
everything.
go-to?
I read everything.
So do I.
I read CNN. I read fucking Fox. I look at aggregators like the Drudge Report. I look at Apple News aggregators, Google News aggregators. Anywhere I can find news, I go find it.
Same. And I try to put kernels of it together to try to piece out what I think is the truth, kind of piecemeal it together. The problem is most people do not. They've got their one thing and they're on the go and then they're on the run. Or the podcast, man. That fucking... What's the Daily Show that's on the New York Times one every single morning? It's only like a half, maybe 35 minutes. It's always in the top 5. The Daily, that's what it's called. The Daily. It's always in the top 5. It's the most fucking slanted shit I've ever heard. And Jesse, because Jesse listens to podcasts all the time, my wife. She was listening to it, and I go, is this what this is like every day? Because I overheard like 20 minutes of it. And she goes, oh, yeah, it's every single day. And I go, why do you listen to it? She goes, it's the same way. She's like, dude, I'm getting ready for work and or getting ready for the day. I want to see what people are talking about. I want to see hear what the big stories are. But she goes, I know I've got to separate the opinions from what the story actually is.
Well, it's actually an important process to go through, even if you're one of these people that are, aware of what's happening in the media. Think about teaching someone to do something. You don't go up to an adult and say, you don't start giving instructions on something. You ask them to show you how they do it, right? Like if you're teaching somebody how to swing a golf club, like show me your swing. Yeah. Then you correct it.
Right.
Watching and listening to these news organizations is basically going out there to see what wrong looks like. Because if you pay close attention, you can see not only what's not true, but you can see why they changed it and what the intended result of that is. Like they want to change this little piece of information so people on the left or whatever will feel this way. And if you can unpack that, then you can correct that. That's just how it is. You can explain to somebody and challenge people in as polite a way as possible. What you're saying is demonstrably untrue. And if that's the case, then tell me how you would feel about this now. And you make them ask a question. Their first response, and you can see this from James Kluge's on the street interviews with people, their first response will be like, well, that's just what I believe. Right. Now you've planted that seed in their mind, and they're going to go home and be like, fuck, I'm stupid.
Well, and here's the wilder thing about it. We have a private group for Ross Patterson Revolution. And this just happened last night to Drinkin Bros listener, long time, Bill Schofield. He posted something in there. And again, it's a private group. And underneath it, Facebook is now putting 8 different articles to tell you why that wasn't true. Yeah. Well, the problem is the media articles they're posting are all slanted. So it's like, why is that your proof? I mean, 8 different articles. So now that's their new thing. They're putting up 8 articles or as many as they can to show you that this statement or this post wasn't true. But it's from media outlets that aren't true. So why are you telling us to believe these things and everything else? And the problem is when people are on Facebook and everything else, then those articles get fed to them. And somebody else is determining the truth above you, and it's Mark Zuckerberg, and it's fucked. It's all fucked.
Well, it's not just Zuckerberg. I mean,
no. I know it's everybody all together. But I just want one source, and I guess because again, in this conversation, they were like, "Well, what's your last example of when you thought something was just the news and nothing but the news?" And I said, TV-wise, headline news. It was pretty bland and across the board. Of
Not
like,
anymore.
Here's what exactly because they're almost out of business, right? Yeah. And then you have to pick a side, which is what happened to CNN and what happened to Fox and, all that other stuff.
We're getting exactly what we deserve because we've turned into a society that values dopamine instead of serotonin. Serotonin is a long-burning situation that makes you get serotonin in your gut from being healthy, from being mentally healthy. You get dopamine from like drugs or getting likes on Instagram and shit like that. And we've turned into a dopamine culture. We're a bunch of fucking dopes. And we're getting what we paid for now because advertisers know that. And if you think media is anything other than a giant advertisement, you're out of your goddamn mind. I mean, here we are selling stuff too. We're just honest about what we're doing. Yeah. Like if one of these products, if I find out, like Harry's, for example, if I find out they fuck over my buddy Michael Knowles, I tell them to take their 80 grand and shove it up their fucking ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the way it's got to be. But these people have boards of advisors, boards of directors. They have fucking stockholders, and they can't do that. Yeah. So you cannot trust a company like that. You can't.
And one of the things that we did very, very early on back in the day was, I know the phrase has been used close to 963 times. That's how many episodes. That came off my thing this morning. I'm Drinkin Bros. One of the phrases I always use is we get some sponsors who pay to put this shit wagon on the air. It's like, yes, we have paid advertisers, but they allow us to say and do whatever we want. Now, it's not true at a news network. You cannot just do and say whatever you want, or the fucking hammer will come down on you from above. And it has happened numerous times with the people who've been fired over the years. It's at major media companies, but we're able to say whatever we want, and this is clearly an opinion-based show. Yeah. But as far as news is concerned, yes, headline news back in the day, TV-wise, and then paper-wise, it was probably the USA Today, where it was just like pie charts and shit, and it was just simple news, man killed in Oklahoma, and
Yeah. We've got some questions here in the chat. What inside the waistband holster do I use? I don't. I use a clip draw. It's this little thing right here that goes on the side. You can buy it on Amazon. It bolts to the back of your Glock, and you just clip it into the inside of your pants. Number one. Number two, is it legal to watch DB in live chat whilst driving? No.
What if you get a Tesla?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Is there a YouTube app on the fucking screen, on the Tesla screen? Because there's one on my Jeep. I would assume there is, right?
I don't know, man. That's where we're headed.
On my Jeep, it only plays audio, I think. I don't know if it plays the video on the screen.
Yeah. Mine only plays audio.
On the Tesla, you would expect it would play the video on the screen because that's like a full-on, like 27-inch TV.
Well, guys, on the truck, it actually puts the chat on the heads-up display. So it just shows you how fast you're going, and then does the chat as well.
Does it really?
No way.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay, great. Yeah,
but your truck does have that digital rearview mirror now.
It does. So it's a movie screen.
Yeah, it's not a mirror. It's a wide angle camera in the back, and that's what shows up on your rearview mirror now. That's pretty dope. It looks good.
It's cool, but
it's going to take some getting used to, I would imagine.
Not that. It's the lights. There's certain LED lights on different people's cars, and the way that it reads those lights is just flashing really quick. So I always think I'm getting pulled over. So I kind of turn it off and just go back to the regular mirror.
Well, you're more of a natural man anyway.
Yeah. I get stuck with the white man's truck. Remember that whole debacle during tax season? We couldn't get a truck in the state of Texas.
Nope.
Over 6,000 pounds. I got stuck with the white man's truck, the white man's white vehicle, and all that stuff. Hilarious. But that feature and the features that it are pretty cool. But we're getting close enough where you'll be able to pop open YouTube and have it on there.
I love people like this. There's another fucking turd in the chat here, Incognito. That's super clever, by the way. I mean, honestly, who would have thought of that? Military worship is for morons who think invading other countries under false pretenses and signing up to be a contract killer is noble. I corrected your grammar, by the way. You're welcome. Yeah, we don't really support any of the wars that are going on right now and have it this whole time. So maybe if you spent longer than 10 seconds here just trying to troll people, you'd figure that out, you stupid fucking cunt.
What's up?
Anyways, speaking of that, the Taliban are pissed that U.S. troops aren't out of Afghanistan yet. So they've been threatening to attack U.S. and NATO forces due to the May 1st withdrawal date not being met. Now, nobody thought that was actually going to happen, right?
No.
There are currently 10,000 NATO troops, 3,500 of which are American. I wonder who the rest are. That's 6,500 people. Taliban spokesman released a statement Saturday saying, Taliban spokesman released a statement, isn't that?
They've got to have a publicist.
It's funny. I mean,
have a publicist.
What do you think what was the resume like for him to get that PR job?
Boy, Twitter.
Yeah.
9/11,
As withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan As withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan agreed upon May 1st deadline is passed, this violation in principle has opened the way for IEA Mujahideen to take every counteraction it deems appropriate against occupying forces, meaning we're going to attack people. The Trump administration had previously reached an agreement with the Taliban promising to withdraw all U.S. troops by May 1st, which the Biden administration recently extended to September 11th. I don't know why the fuck you would make it September 11th.
Weird.
That is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
It's one of the dates during the year that we pay the most attention because we expect additional attacks on that day. Mm-hmm. Fucking idiot, man. In response to the decision to extend the deadline, the Taliban refused to attend any of the peace conferences and has escalated their attacks on Afghan civilians and military personnel. A car bomb was detonated on April 30th, killing 25 people and injuring more than 60, including multiple high school students. And on Saturday of this past week, Taliban insurgents also attacked and overran an Afghan army base in southeastern Ghazni province, capturing dozens of soldiers and killing many more. So, whatever. Why are we there in the first place?
I don't know.
Why did we stay? Why did we do any of this?
Why were they pissed when Trump wanted to just have all the troops leave?
Yeah, Dan Crenshaw was like, me and my friends know fucking blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, you bitch. That guy, what a cunt that guy is. Anyways, this whole fucking situation is so fucking stupid. We are doing the same goddamn thing we did after we created the Mujahideen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to fucking not do things the right way, piss everybody off, and then leave after we piss them off and just let them stir that fucking hornet's nest. And in 15 years, our kids are going to be back over there fighting this fucking war again. It
will never end.
Yeah. It's absolute nonsense. It's opium, and it's also fucking lithium. So we'll see how it goes. I think the U.S. is hesitant to withdraw from Afghanistan because they know Russia is going to go in there and get all that fucking rare earth mineral. That's what I think. Because the other big deposits, one is here in the United States. There's a lot in Canada. One of the biggest ones is in Venezuela. That's a problem for us, right? Mm-hmm. And there's some of their bordering countries down there also have a lot of it too. It's a lot more acceptable in today's culture for us to conduct wars in the Middle East than it is to conduct wars in South America, right?
Oh, yeah.
And America has this policy for whatever reason to not use its reserves. It's why we're still fucking on the OPEC tit. Yep. We have more oil than we'll ever need. We're still on OPEC's tit. We're still fucking fighting foreign wars for no goddamn reason. It's just, we're fucking the dumbest people in the world.
And it's a never-ending cycle of people who are fighting for, religious beliefs and all that other shit. Like, it's been going for thousands and thousands of years. Why did we think that we were going to change it and need to be there? Like, this is going to keep going on. And if you're not happy about it, just keep sending fucking bombs. I don't like, why put troops over there? Just keep dropping bombs and then fucking leave. Doesn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But what does make sense to me is Dr. Squatch. Fucking love this goddamn soap. You're not going to see it on my side. It's on Dan's side if you want to go to that single over there. You know what's not on my side? Day 25 in a hotel. Yes. I've gone through, I think, I don't know, 2-3 bars of Dr. Squatch over this whole process.
Did you use the little clip that sticks onto the bar?
Yes, yeah. So there's a clip that comes with it that sticks onto the bar, and you're like, it's the best shit ever. Pine tar is my end-all, be-all favorites from Dr. Squatch. I am a gigantic fucking fan of these guys. I wish I owned stake in their fucking company. It's the best soap I've ever had in my life, man. And I hit them up after the ads that I was seeing, and I was like, hey, I think you guys would fit in with what we do here, and I think it's great, and it's the best fucking soap ever. Now I can't go back, and I'm telling you that pine tar is my fucking jam, dude. The other one that I used up was the fruity IPA, fucking amazing as well. I think you got the goat's milk is the only one left here. I just keep gunning through these things. I've used it. Dude, our new assistant, Nick, is used it. He got online, like, right in front of us after the show. I was like, oh, shit, you guys get Dr. Squatch? I'm all in. What's your fucking promo code?
I'm going to need to watch you bathe.
Yes, that is mandatory.
Nick, you want to come behind camera so we can see the kind of man that needs this Dr. Squatch real quick? Yeah,
Nick's
come on over.
Do you guys have a camera over there?
Oh, we do. Go ahead and introduce Nick to the wild world. This is Nick.
There he is.
So if you need a strong soap that'll clean this man, you go for Dr. Squatch.
You almost talked into the football, Nick, which I like.
No, I was looking to put it in my face.
Totally fine. It's okay to talk into the football. There it is. There. That's a Dr. Squatch user right there. Right now, new customers can get 20% off on orders of $20 or more when they go to drsquatch.com and enter the code DSC Drinkin Bros. It's a different one from the rest of our promo codes, but this is DSC Drinkin Bros for 20% off of orders 20 or more. Dude, I'm going to buy like fucking 8 of these things like the second I'm able to get back into my house and just use all of the flavors on all of the body parts. Dr. Squatch is the fucking shit, dude. Man.
It's so good it'll make you try to talk into a fucking football.
Yeah, that's how good it was. Nick, what did the football say back to you?
Yeah.
It didn't say anything, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Well, footballs can't talk, so that's normal.
Yeah, you can talk to yourself as long as there's no one answering.
Yeah.
I think that's the rule.
Oh, I love that. I want that clipped up. I just want that clip as like a GIF or an NFT or something, just talking to a football. I think that would be amazing. Next up, Coke abandons being woke. Did not see this coming, or whatever the opposite of that is.
Yeah.
We chatted about this when they had their Stop Being So White. They weren't press conferences. They were more what employee.
It was like diversity training.
Yeah.
And in the training, which was, I believe, authored at least in part by someone who is part of that critical race theory bullshit. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure was involved in it, if I remember correctly. That was a couple of months ago. But yeah, one of the phrases was, try not to be so white.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they signed a deal with like a tanning bed company or something like that. Could be that. Maybe I'm not taking it literally enough this time. But I'm pretty sure they meant not to be like a white person.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird thing. What does that mean to be white? Right? If I went down a list, for example, and wrote down all the lists of stereotypes about black people or,
Asians
Latin people, Latin people or fucking Asian people or whatever it is, that would probably be considered mildly racist.
Yeah.
Right? But we are meant as white people to write down all the things that we think about white people, like pumpkin spice lattes and fucking
white New Balances
and Perry shoes and things like that, and not do that as much, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. We as a society, as a fucking species, actually, we often meet authoritarianism with more authoritarianism, right? But that's not the answer. The answer to a virus is not another virus. This is not how it works. You know what I mean?
Well, my guess on this one is there's probably a class action lawsuit from everyone in that room that's probably headed their way. And they had to nip this in the bud real quick of, hey, we're not going to do that anymore because you can't tell white people to be less white. That is the craziest shit of all time. But the thing is, it wasn't just Coke. There's been a bunch of these corporate things, colleges too. College, we've got to have these trainings, and then they're segregating graduations and all this other shit.
I got an email. Well, we had a fan reached out to us the other day. He was at like a fucking student teacher conference or some shit, I think, for his kid, and they got split up. They had breakout groups that were white and black or some shit like that. Yeah, where presumably they were teaching the white people how to be decent human beings and the black people how to feel victimized. And neither one of those groups need to know any of that shit.
No.
Because people know how to be good people.
Yes.
They do it every single day.
Yep. Yeah. And I have kids. Wow. They don't see that. There's no, God, I mean, I don't see I don't see racism. I don't see it at all. My kids don't see it unless you're just driving it into a kid's head, which I would find extremely rare these days. Like, I mean, fuck, you'd have to be a fucking idiot at this point to do that. Like, I don't see it. And all this training and all this other fucking bullshit and segregating graduations and kids on a playground, all that stuff, it's going to teach you to be racist, but it's not solving anything. So yeah, my guess on the Coke thing is massive lawsuit headed their way. They had to get out in front of this and make a statement, and then the lawsuit will come down, and then they'll be like, see, we said weeks ago that we were getting rid of this.
So, Coke made a lot of noise when, and this might be another contributing factor as well. They made a lot of noise about the Georgia voter ID laws and all that shit. But Coke, as everyone knows, is an Atlanta-based company. They actually put out a press release a couple weeks after, I think after the Major League Baseball moved its All-Star game, that said something to the effect of, we don't think pulling money out of the community is the right solution to that. They're right about that, by the way. The baseball completely fucked that up.
Right.
So they've been tiptoeing back and forth across that line for a while, mostly because they don't want to spend $1 billion building a new office that no one's ever going to come to. You know what I mean? Here's what they've amended their statement to be now. So early in the year, they talked about being less white and mandated their selection of lawyers based on race, by the way. They had like a hiring quota for fucking attorneys, which I think is probably illegal. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, if there's a hiring quota and you have 80 attorneys that you can give jobs to, and 10 of them have to be black, and you have 79 attorneys and only 9 of them are black, you're forced to reject any white candidate.
Yep.
And by rule now, you've actually violated the law.
And by the way, the same thing is going on in Hollywood behind the scenes for crew members and all that other stuff. They're doing that as well. And I know all the reality shows on ABC have also enacted this like 50-50 race diversity thing. And you're right. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it is. And now they say we believe the best way to make progress now is for everyone to come together to listen. In the end, we all want the same thing: free and fair elections. Free and fair. Free and fair. Got to have both.
Yeah.
Can't just be free.
Right? It's got to be fair. It's got to be fair.
I mean, it's... Jesus Christ.
Dan, I feel like you might not live through the end of this day.
This is just the most pointless shit of all time. Trying to make sense of what these stupid fucks are trying to do is super easy.
Yeah.
Like it's cui bono. Typically just follow the money.
Yeah.
Right? Because forget about the 15% or so of the population that have these whack-ass ideologies, because that's all it is. It's about 7.5% on each side. Forget about all of that. It's about the people that are profiting from the goddamn aggression. That's it. From clicks or whatever the fuck it is. BLM people getting a bunch of money and buying a bunch of houses in LA. It's all about people trying to fucking reach into your pocket and take money. That's all it ever is, really. It's all the government fucking does, too. So, this is dumb. It's fucking dumb. We absolutely have to start talking about repealing the 16th Amendment.
Maybe.
The federal government should be on a shoestring budget. They should have to come to us multiple times a year to get more money. We shouldn't be fucking giving them our money to hold in escrow. Then we have to do a bunch of paperwork under penalty of law every April to get our own goddamn fucking money back. Yeah. This is the way we've set this up is the dumbest shit of all time. And, it's very frustrated today with all of this.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll make it to dinner tonight.
We'll see.
I don't know if you'll make it.
We'll see what happens.
It's almost turned into Good Will Hunting, where Affleck is showing up and Matt Damon's just not going to be there one day. You know who will be there?
Except for I won't be at Stanford with that girl with the giant head, Minnie Driver. I'll just have my brains plastered on the wall somewhere.
Is it real name Little Tiny Driver or was it Minnie?
I think it was Little Tiny.
Little Tiny Driver.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure the best way to get Dan to stay alive is to keep making Lonesome Dove reservations. He's always got to go to
They were booked tonight.
Yeah.
They were booked tonight.
We
So
should call them and tell them something.
yeah.
What, like a crazy ex-girlfriend saying I'm going to kill myself if they don't give us a reservation?
No. But that's
Yeah. Do you have one? Who will do that?
An ex-girlfriend?
Yeah,
I've had several, yeah.
That call and reservations and say I'll kill
they
myself?
call me and tell me they'll kill themselves if I don't date them again. Which is, by the way, not a good hook.
No.
If you're in marketing, that's not a great hook.
But what is a good hook is GetRoman.com/Drinkin Bros.
Speaking of suicide.
That's good for the relationships.
I don't think you can do it while on Roman.
Well,
when you see it,
you need it. You gotta. A lot of people were boned up for Cinco de Mayo last night. At GetRoman.com/Drinkin Bros. You get $15 off your first month. Look, if you have erectile dysfunction out there, now's the time to correct it. You fixed everything else that goes wrong around your house. Why not fix your wiener? Why not fix it? You know? With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation, ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your own home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you for free within 2 days. Very discreet packaging over there. Straightforward. Getting started is easy. Just go to GetRoman.com/Drinkin Bros and complete an online visit. Take care of your ED without leaving your own home. Complete an online visit today to connect with a healthcare professional and take care of it. Go to GetRoman.com/Drinkin Bros now, and you'll get $15 off your first month. It's really time to take care of your ED. And remember, get started today. You'll get $15 off for your first ED treatments. I wonder if Bill Gates is going to hop on this train. I live for all of this shit. This is the wildest story I've heard in a while.
I think he's still probably, or has rather, been on it the entire time, and we'll get into why I believe that in a moment.
Yeah. If you haven't heard, Bill and Melinda Gates are getting a divorce, but now details are emerging over why, and shit's getting weird. I am fucking all in for this. This was one of the weirdest fucking stories I've ever read, and I don't know who to blame here, him or her, for putting up with it. After announcing his separation from his wife of 27 years, who, by the way, the day that it happened, she got $1.8 billion in CocaCola stocks, cashed in, boom. Weird fucking.
Is that they had
segue there?
They had no prenup, right?
Yeah, they had no prenup, and it has come to light that Bill Gates has had a little action on the side since 1987. Before meeting his wife in the late 80s, Bill Gates was dating venture capitalist Ann Winblad. It's a tough name. She probably would have rather gotten married and just gone with Gates, you know? Winblad. It's a tough one. The two met at a tech conference in 1984 while living in different cities, forcing them to have a long-distance relationship. Bill and Ann would go on virtual dates with one another by watching the same movie and discussing it over their cell phone. After meeting Melinda in 1987, Bill broke up with Ann, but the two continued their relationship through yearly vacations. This is wild. They would go to the Outer Banks in North Carolina.
Every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
For one weekend and do whatever the fuck it is they did.
So in the years after the marriage, Bill and Melinda had an agreement that once a year, Bill could go spend one weekend with his former girlfriend.
Yes.
I don't know at what point during the relationship Melinda agreed to that, but I'm guessing after probably Windows 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's man.
But it gets weirder. They would spend their vacations riding dune buggies, hand gliding, taking long walks on the beach.
The woman is 70, by the way.
Yes.
She's not like way younger than him.
No.
She's 5 years older than him.
It's not like it's a 26-year-old Instagram thought.
So I'm not sure if they're even fucking.
I don't know, and that's that.
It doesn't seem like that kind of relationship. That's weird as shit. Not because she's older, by the way, but because of the stuff that they do.
But why not? I don't know one wife in this world who would be like, oh yeah, go spend a weekend once a year with your ex-girlfriend that you were with. And
what's something that you really like doing and going to that Jesse doesn't like? I mean, for her, it would be going shopping, and you don't want to do that. So what's the inverse of that?
I guess going to football games. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
If she hated football as much as I'm just spitballing here, but if Melinda really just hates that kind of shit,
dune buggies
and fishing and whatever the fuck else he wants to do,
Hang gliding.
is it worth it when you're married to one of the richest men in the world? Say, you know what, go do that shit with that other bitch. I don't want to fucking see it.
No, it's just
and she gets 1 week in a year. Who knows what was Melinda doing all those years on her weekend away?
Yeah.
Right? So what's she doing while Bill's out of town? Because she knows he's not coming back, obviously. Although his house is wired for fucking sound. So
yeah, he knows everybody.
I think she goes to Vegas and just plays slots the whole time.
I don't know.
I doubt
Just
it.
smokes a carton, plays some slots, hangs out.
I mean, this is the weirdest fucking story. Just guys, it's just men and women here. I don't know one woman on this earth would be like, for the next 27 years, you get one weekend with your ex-girlfriend, have fun, and then we'll see after that.
That weekend sounds like the healthiest relationship ever, though.
Yeah, but I mean, that is it. And this story just keeps getting crazier. So, like, it came out of nowhere. The Bezos thing we knew. Like, we knew he was fucking boning homegirl, and it just so happens. I mean, he's still dating that girl, but she was married to the biggest agent in Hollywood. Like,
well, Anne, whatever her fucking stupid name is,
Winbald is Blad.
She's married to a private investigator in San Francisco who clearly doesn't mind getting cucked by Bill Gates. Which, I mean, I seriously doubt there's any financial arrangement between Bill and this woman because she makes her own fucking money, right?
She made like $16 million, it says, off of the first thing she sold, and then she works for this other angel investment firm. I'm not really sure, but this keeps happening here. So according to another report, it says Bill and Melinda's divorce has been a done deal for months, and they plan to announce it back in March. And the plan included renting a remote private island where the entire family, with one big exception, that's Bill wasn't allowed to go there, could avoid the media once the announcement was made. And they were going to spend time, Melinda and the kids were going to spend time on this island together. Yes, she rented out an entire fucking island. The island is called, I'm going to butcher this, Calvingi?
Oh, is it
Calvini Island in Grenada?
Is it Grignonia? Is it Grignonia?
Grignonia, yes, yeah.
Or
Rinwania.
Yeah, Grignonia, yeah.
Yeah. Grenada?
That's season 2, episode 1 of 30 Rock, Seinfeld Vision. It's a secret island in Europe that only fucking rich people know about. Then there's Svenborgia as well.
So with this, the island is $132,000 a night.
That's nothing.
And so, well, here's the thing. If you're going to avoid the media and the press, you're probably going to spend 2 weeks there. I mean, it's nothing for those guys, but I mean, $132,000 a night. So
she could do that with just the money she made from that Coke deal, 10,000 nights in a row. So let's just.
No, I get it. I get it.
An enormous amount of money.
Yes. But apparently, everyone in the family knew, as well as the kids, and they were going to invite their significant others, that they were getting divorced. And there was a lot of acrimony associated with the splits because they said, this is according to a source, virtually everyone in the family took Melinda's side because they were angry at shit that Bill has done to her over the years. With this chick story, with the side piece story, like obviously that's one of them. That is a massive one. How do you explain that to your kids every year?
Why do you need to? Do they even have kids?
Yes.
I mean, certainly they're grown.
They're grown up. But
look, if I ever happen to have children, I damn sure I'm not going to spend my 60s explaining shit that I did to them. Fuck those kids. Go live your own life and mind your damn business, bitch.
Is this the coolest thing that Bill Gates has ever done? Does this give him more street cred?
No, it just kind of makes him seem like a fucking
Yeah,
weirdo.
she's also kind of gross.
Oh, do you have a picture of her? Can you put it up?
We can.
I haven't seen Windblad. What does Windblad look like?
I mean, you say she's gross. She's fucking 70. What is she supposed to be, fucking hot?
She wasn't ever hot though.
What is that noise?
I like the noise, actually. Leave the noise.
I don't
Georgia.
mind it. I'm just curious what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, while you're doing that, so yeah, they've been working on this for months. Bill transferred nearly $2 billion in stock, which was Coca-Cola, to Melinda on the very day that she filed for divorce. And they're saying,
certainly that was part of an agreement they came up with by themselves.
Correct, and they said with this much money at stake and this many properties, this is part of a global settlement, is what they're saying, because you've got to settle all their houses around the world, all the shit they own, and everything else.
I can assure you of one thing. They're going to do everything they can to keep this out of an attorney's office and keep it from becoming public record. Because Bill Gates does not want people knowing all about all the fucking farmland he owns and all the fucking research companies he's fucking putting money into and all this other bullshit. Nobody fucking wants that on his team.
Okay.
So I guarantee you, he's going to give this woman whatever the fuck. If she's smart right now, she's saying, I want $100 billion. And then I'll consider going away.
I think the deal was half, to be honest, where they just split it down the middle. She didn't really give a fuck. It's so much money. Is the girl, all right, so this girl's on screen. Is the girl in the middle, like the glamour shot girl? Is that the fucking, is that what she looks like at 70?
No, that picture's from the fuck. Did you see the computer in the background? Yeah. That was from like the 80s probably.
She didn't age terribly. I mean, that's a good 70 right there. That's a good 70, but it's still creepy to think about having sex with a 70-year-old.
Yeah, she's got to do something about that neck.
I can't. That's the one thing you can't get rid of.
No,
We've discussed this
Jessica Walters did it.
We've done this story for years and years on RPR. The neck and the hands are the hardest ones to get right. You can't get it right. The only one who has ever done it successfully is Elizabeth Warren and Jessica Walter, like you said.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't care about that. Maybe she does that thing he likes, and Melinda won't do it. Maybe he likes getting his ass eaten, and that's all he cares about. And this woman has been eating his ass for 30 years.
Maybe
the neck is part of it.
It could be part of it, yeah.
Maybe you're fucking that neck. That's it. Look,
we
don't
said
kink
it, not
shame.
me. You said it, not me.
We don't kink shame on this show. Never have, never will.
You fold it in half.
No. I just like to think that Bill Gates is super into getting his ass eaten, and this woman's into it. That's what I want that's what I want the truth to be.
Okay.
So let's just stop it right there.
What's the fun one where she's in the green top on the floor, kind of like she looks like she's on TGIF back in the late 90s there. Go to the side. There we go. That one, yeah. Pop that up on screen there. Hot Bob is not here today. There you go. Just, open this one right there. Look at that.
Yeah. You see the computer in the background?
Yeah, you're right.
60 fucking years ago.
Holy shit. Hey, Giorgio, you know this shit. What year is that
actually
computer?
looks like a Macintosh.
That's an Apple II.
Yeah.
It's an Apple II. You can pan back out of that because that was a terrible crop in right there. But there you go. There you go. Just a bunch of books. And then what year was that computer, Giorgio?
I believe that was 93 that was released.
And it was Apple.
Yeah. It was the Apple II. It was right after the Macintosh. It was actually their most famous computer.
So, was this a revenge thing?
1977.
Was that a revenge
Apple II
pick?
Came out.
Yeah.
But that's not an Apple II.
He's Microsoft. Is this a revenge pick of like, hey, notice the Apple in the background? Fuck you, Bill.
Maybe. Well, I think at that point in time, Bill and Steve were still pretty close. That's back when Bill. No, it's a little bit after that's when Bill just dumped a bunch of money into Apple.
Yeah. That's a fun flirty pick. Pantyhose in that sitch though, with the jeans don't really make a lot of sense to me. Why are you not wearing socks?
I feel like at that point in time, you just always wore the pantyhose. Like I remember as a small child, like just stealing my mom's constantly, and she'd yell at me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't really see them anymore. You don't see a lot
Never.
of pantyhose.
No pantyhose and no shoulder pads.
Yeah.
What happened?
That looks like a Macintosh SE, which would have been the fourth computer they released in 1987.
Beautiful computer. Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Dan calling me on my bullshit, just like usual.
Well, I didn't know either. I just had to look it up.
Last but not least here, a Pennsylvania man has been arrested for grilling a hot dog, Dan. He's grilling a dog.
Well, an actual dog. Yeah.
Not a hot dog?
A man from Pennsylvania recently. Yeah, he got. This is his story, anyways, and the story of the neighbor. He got super shit faced and then shot his dog.
Oh no!
And cooked it in a fire pit outside of his home. This is in
Florida.
And no, it's in Pennsylvania.
No, it's in Pennsylvania.
Like yeah.
But the headline says man arrested for grilling a hot dog. So the dog itself was physically hot because the dog was on fire.
It's an odd time to choose a pun for the writer, but hey, what do you got to do?
All about the clicks.
Yeah.
That's terrible, dude. Oh, no. Police reported that when they found the 48-year-old drunk, obviously, he was dousing $100 bills in lighter fluid and throwing them into a fire pit.
Yeah, his name is Nikolay Lukachev or some stupid shit
Russian.
like that. You can look it up. His roommate told police that Nikolay had shot his own dog with a 9mm pistol before taking the animal outside and burning it over the fire.
Okay.
When police searched the home, they found the pistol in question as well as bullet holes in the bedroom and hallway. So I guess he was shooting up his own house too. Or
Yeah, why not?
I don't know if he was chasing the dog through the house shooting at it either. He's facing multiple charges, including aggravated cruelty to animals and some other charges, and had his bail set at $1 million. Ironically, an earlier Facebook post from this drunk lunatic, written in Russian, states, "In the year of the dogs, I wish you success, health, and fun without limits." But maybe he thought he had to sacrifice a dog. This is like the worst thing I've ever seen. By the way, if you look on his Facebook page, he also photoshopped himself into a U.S. Navy uniform for no reason.
Why not?
It's like I don't even know if he's American. He's like writing in Russian and shit.
Yeah.
All this does not sound American.
No, not at all.
Now, American people typically don't hurt dogs unless you're a quarterback for the Eagles, right?
Yeah. Thank you for saying Eagles and not Falcons, by the way.
First.
Nah, Eagles that was the last team.
It's
what everybody's
most-
going to remember.
He did his time.
He was most recently on the Eagles, asshole. Anyways, there's no. Here's the problem for that. The justice system is not about getting revenge. It's about getting justice. But a person that does something like that, regardless of their fucking mental state or what drugs or alcohol they might be subjected to, someone that does something like that is going to do it to a human being eventually. Execute this guy in public. Shoot his fucking face right off of his fucking head. Burn him at the stake, maybe, in the public square. That'd be great. We really need to start bringing back public executions.
Hey, they did, actually. One state did it. I think I just fucking read this, dude, yesterday.
This guy's the get fucked of the goddamn rest of my life. Look, hurting people, especially children, is something that cannot be tolerated. But some people think they can get away with hurting animals and it never graduates to people because they want to hurt something. Those people got to be fucking murdered and thrown into a ditch and set on fire. Fuck them.
Yeah, there it is. South Carolina is poised to be the 4th state to allow death penalty by firing squad.
That's hilarious.
Yep. I just read that last night, and I was like, I'll fact check that in the morning.
Isn't there?
There it is.
I think you can do it in Delaware as well.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we have a rule against cruel and unusual punishment. Cruel, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Why unusual? Why can't we make their punishment unusual? What does usual mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like, if we just give the dude a grenade,
Yeah.
pull the pen and from a distance, and it's like duct taped to his hands, like Edward 40 hands, and it just blows him up. Still gonna die.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's fucking funny.
Wouldn't all those be considered almost more humane though? Like once you learn about lethal injection and what actually goes into that and the feelings behind it.
Did he eat the dog? Does anybody know that?
It doesn't say anything about him consuming the dog at all, but
Because if he's consuming the dog and he didn't have food that night, what do you do then? And the reason I bring this up, there's a very famous boxer, Manny Pacquiao, didn't talk to his father for years because he shot the family dog and fucking cooked it up and ate it because he said they were poor. So I don't know. I don't know what Nikolai Volkov is doing here, but
Yeah.
that's a fucking wild one.
yeah, I think impaling it would be good for this guy too. People think of impaling now as just stabbing somebody with something, but real impalement was you were put basically on this triangular shaped thing, ass first,
Yep.
and it slowly split your ass in half.
Yeah.
Over
And then
days.
Days, yeah. That was fucking brutal.
People like this deserve all the pain we can inflict upon them.
Now it's time to get to the Drinkin' Bro of the Week. This one was submitted by Steve Holt from Colorado.
That's not a real name. Steve Holt is a character from Arrested Development.
I don't know.
Steve Holt.
He says he's nominating.
It's not his real name.
Jessica Holt.
Not her real name either.
What's that from?
This feels like a very common name. So.
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Both of these names are from Arrested Development.
No, Jessica Holt is not a name from Arrested Development.
Well, Holt is a very common last name. Not like
It's her husband.
it's not like Bushkowitz or something like.
Dan's like, nope, still not real.
No, it's Steve Holt.
Steve Holt, dude.
It was Will Arnett. It was Will Arnett's bastard child in Arrested Development.
I believe in you, Steve Holt. I think you're a real human.
I don't believe
now, I
you.
hope this doesn't go dark. Like I said, all the time on this show, we
Same.
read these live. They're unfiltered. Whatever comes in on the moment, we read it, and then that's it.
I hope he just goes like straight out off the script of Arrested Development. Yeah.
I don't know.
If he does that, then he's getting some free shit from me.
Okay. We'll see.
But I'm not going to allow that after today. Don't try to fucking take characters from TV and explain them to us anymore.
Without Ross noticing.
Hang on.
Well,
hang
you'll get
on.
it by him every time.
We'll find out. Let's see. Hey, gents. Today I want to nominate my wife, Jessica, for Drinkin' Bro of the Week. She is a rock star, endlessly working her ass off in everything she does, whether she's writing, teaching lessons for her kids at school. She's a special education teacher, by the way. She wedding planning, helping organize our move to San Antonio, or shooting laser shots on goal. I like that. Soccer player. Or checking grown men into plexiglass walls in co-ed soccer leagues. She listens to y'all respectable degenerates with me. Thank you for always giving the people the best show and the most outrageous rabbit holes of thought. God bless and cheers, boys. Cheers. Steve Holt. That is a real name, and his wife's name is Jessica Holt.
Hold on just a second.
You're going to find him?
I'm going to look him up on the internets. And if
Go to Facebook.
Yeah, I'm going to put his address up on the screen too.
Dox him.
For lying to me.
Dan does not take kindly to being lied to.
I do not either. Next.
Where did he say he lived?
He did Colorado.
Oh, there's a Steve Holt in Arizona, and
There's a lot of.
He's
there's
cross-referencing it
probably
with every Drinkin' Bros group right now.
50 million Steve Holtz in the
Just
world.
like it. That's exactly what
there's
it's
actually. So here's how I know this is not real. There is a fucking man named Steve Holt who is part of the state legislature in Iowa, which doesn't exist.
Right.
So you're not real. Your wife's not real. None of this is real.
No, this is completely real. There's about 500 million Steve Holtz in America, and I believe in you, Steve Holt.
Did you see that party?
What's that? Put that picture up of Steve Holt. Who is that?
That's the guy from Arrested Development. Wasn't there some?
Put that picture on the screen. Well, no, the other one that actually says Steve Holt.
It's too small.
That's what she
You're
said.
too small.
Now with Roman.
There's wasn't there some meetup of a bunch of dudes named Josh or some shit like that?
There
it's
was.
It's a battle for the name.
Josh fight.
Yeah, who won?
Josh. Josh won the one. Let's find out who the best Josh was. There it is. Blow it up. There it is. Look at that. Steve Holt, proud of you. Proud of you, buddy. I believe in you, and I believe you're a real human. So get on the boards one day. I don't know.
Prove it.
Yeah, prove it. Prove that you're a real
I want that
human. believe
Letterman's
in
jacket.
So do I.
Well,
I have one, actually.
it's about 20 years
Maybe I'll
old.
wear
so.
it. But about being lied to, dude, we have on Drinkin' Bros Patreon. Jeez, Russ. Quit drinking. On Drinkin' Bros podcast Patreon page, we have a new episode of Ross Patterson Uncert going up here in about 20 minutes. At the end of the episode, I previewed a story we're going to do next week on Drinkin' Bros about being lied to. And it comes from the fucking real narcos that were on the show. And it's the fucking craziest story of all time. And they fucking flipped on us, dude. It's a wild story, man. And I got a conclusion to it. And so we'll post all the screenshots and DMs and emails and all of that.
It's going to look like the rainforest when you're done with it.
I can't believe it. I was like, man, after that, I was like, there is no good humans in the world. Like I've given up on that.
Well, we got Nick.
Is he? Do we know Nick's a good human being?
No, yeah, you're right.
He's wearing a Mighty Ducks jersey.
Quack, quack.
Well,
Yeah, what's the issue with that exactly?
probably drawing in kids, dude.
No, they don't know
Popular
what the fuck
TV
Mighty
show.
Ducks are.
Oh yeah, they do.
No, they don't. Children right now don't know what the fucking god. They don't know who Emilio Estevez is.
They
Oh
have
boy,
Disney
Dan is behind here. They've rebooted it. Emilio's still coaching, and that is on Disney Plus.
He's
so.
back.
He's back.
No one has
Mighty
watched
Ducks
that.
are back.
Children don't care about that.
Ratings are massive, Dan.
It's the kids who
No, they're not.
watching that shit on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, dude. And you know what it is? It's the parents who are still nostalgic for it.
Again, so like I said,
who watch it, and
the kids don't give a shit.
You know what? One of the biggest hits on Netflix is
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. I want the Mighty Ducks guys to do a dojo storm on Cobra Kai and have all the hockey players go in there, beat them all up.
Yeah. That's why Fuller House ratings were so high too. Is like, all right, if you're a parent who's got to watch this shit with your kid, you're gonna watch something that you liked as a kid. So it's like that's what's happening.
When does Stefan Urkel come back?
Oh, he's growing weed now. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Stefan. Oh, Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
Was his real name Stefan?
No, that was his ultimate character. We got cool.
Yeah.
he went in the machine.
Right, dude. Yeah. Shit. That was dope. He's been on the show.
Yeah, just Nico, I don't know if you saw that in the chat, but Emilio's last name is not Sheen. Charlie Sheen's real name is Carlos Estevez.
Yep. And he changed it to Sheen.
Well, Martin changed first.
Martin. No. Emilio changed it.
No. Martin Sheen changed his name first to Martin Sheen.
Oh, we got to get a fact check on that before we get off the air. I got to know this answer. I thought it was the other way around.
Martin Sheen's real name is Ramon Antonio Gerardo Estevez.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Where's he from?
When are you going to fucking fact check me?
When's he? Where?
He's from Dayton, Ohio, where most Ramones are from.
Yeah. Why have that
the
name
fuck
from
no?
Dayton, Ohio?
Who knows?
Was his mom Ilaria Baldwin?
He actually technically never changed it officially. It says here on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's just his SAG name, but Charlie did change his.
Okay.
I think. Because I think,
because of the IRS.
yeah, well, or AIDS. He's trying to get away from AIDS. If you change your ID, AIDS can't find you. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
Oh, it's like they can't see in the dark.
Yeah, can't see in the dark. Can't see in the dark. Yeah, but we're gonna have a crazy week next week, and then tomorrow we are live at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, I should say, in Dallas from Craft and Growler. Chuck Liddell will be on the show. Everybody will be in town. Tailgate Legends. Everybody on the network will be there, except for obviously Fake Dan and Hot Bob.
There may be some free swag too. So if you need another reason to come out besides the Iceman, besides Papa G,
we're gonna have merch. We'll have some shirts.
Tons
and
of free merch. Yeah.
That we'll just give away, and then there's 2 posters that we'll be signing and giving away as well.
Are we allowed to show those posters on screen?
I think I have.
You want me to go grab one?
Bring me.
Yeah, grab this poster here. Yeah.
All you dummies saw that stupid video we made. The
Nick, stand in front of the center camera there and hold it up. There you go.
Yeah, so you guys all saw the on the Mason-Dixon line cartoon we made. This is the poster. We actually made it. So
it's the real one of two, a Union soldier and a Confederate soldier who are missing a leg, and they reverse 69 each other, or eat each other's asses, and had that made into I mean, that's a real professional movie poster.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Those turned out amazing, so we're giving those out.
I'm going to be giving away something else special too. Dan, can you cut this camera to me?
Yeah, what do you got?
I got this old Dan Holloway signed diaper here. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting these. They're super rare, super exclusive. I'm bringing one of these with me. You will get 2 free ones if you use it while at the live show.
What is the diaper from?
It's from the OG Jack Sesh when we all diped up.
Oh shit, dude.
Well, we all didn't dipe up. You put a diaper on and pissed in it.
Well, I need to see how good they were, and I was so impressed.
Did it work?
I signed clean, unused diapers. I just want to make that clear.
Okay, so you're not getting Dan's piss.
No.
All right.
I wouldn't. No.
Hey, maybe we'll bring a pedophile hunter hat too signed by Dan. Maybe we'll just bring all the swag.
Ruben Schneider's saying, Papa G, you still owe Danielle a diaper.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
These people know.
All right. But yeah, be there tomorrow. That'll be a blast at Craft and Growler. We're going to get rocked before that. We're heading to the Texas Rangers game tomorrow night. But, dude, we're going to do a long fucking huge show and get rocked with everybody. So if you were in the Dallas area or the Houston area, come to Craft and Growler tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Free merch, and you can do whatever you want.
I got one more update.
What do you got?
Araceli has 402 new DMs.
No way.
Yes.
You're kidding.
She was just showing me the list. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Are they dick pics?
She didn't go in that far, but I want to say that me and Ross are committed to this, and we'll probably do a 2-hour cap limit. Please keep your face out of it because we may show them on Patreon as well.
I'll do this. If you did send in a dick pic, so on Ross Passion Revolution this morning, we brought our the lovely lady who works with us, Araceli, on, who books all of our advertisers and all that stuff. brought her on air because her buddy cock-blocked her last night and didn't let her hook up. And I invited the audience to send her dick pics to her Instagram. And I did not know that she has got, how many, 402?
It's probably a bunch of pictures of Richard Nixon, to be honest, because people are unoriginal. However, that's pretty funny. I also told Trevor that we would put his Instagram up here.
Trevor
Sarver.
Oh, yeah.
So go to that.
Why Trevor's?
Because he just said, show my fucking account to all your hot fans or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Oh, is he looking for a girlfriend?
That's not even close. Sarvor.
Is he looking for a girlfriend?
I'm not sure girlfriend is the way I would put it. Or is it? It's ER. Yeah, there you go. That's it. So throw that.
There he is.
I mean, he's a good looking.
Oh, he's a real good looking guy.
Put it up on screen.
Are we allowed to say what he's involved in?
Yeah, he's doing our merch, but that's him and
Yeah,
Jason.
he's doing all of our merch.
That's him. Go back to the other side. That's him and Jason Rao on Jason's 40th birthday a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
God, Jason looks good for 40.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of weight. He looks good.
Yeah.
So Trevor runs
85 Supply.
85 Supply, which is like the biggest merch company. They do all of Shapiro's stuff, all of the Daily Wire, LaCroix, you name it.
Scroll back
They
up
do
to
it.
his name.
Look at he's friendly with kids. He's nice. He's friendly with kids. It looks like.
TrevorSarver. Go hit him up. If you're a hot lady trying to smash, go.
Trevor's down, dude.
Yeah, go.
And he's look, Trevor does well. He runs one of the biggest fucking merch companies on the planet.
He's fun and responsible.
Go through his Instagram there. He's got a nice fish with him.
And affluence.
He's good with kids, it looks like. This almost looks like a fake Instagram. It looks too perfect. You know, he's friendly with dogs, old people, children. He's at a graduation party, it looks like.
Yeah.
He can
He's
fish.
got a dope ass. Is that a dope ass Forerunner?
Yeah, he's a
Zactal?
former metal guitarist in several bands back in the day. By the way,
He's on a PJ. He's on a private jet.
Mm-hmm.
He can fish. He can play guitar. He's good with kids. He looks good in a suit.
There you
Man,
go.
this guy.
Look at that.
I might ask him out.
Just throw him a tit pic in his DMs. Are you allowed to do that there?
Yeah.
Instagram doesn't block that shit.
Nah.
All right. Yeah, do it. Go to Trevor. Go to Trevor's server, dude. Get him laid. Let's get him laid. That's what we've been doing all day today. Is helping our friends get laid. Why not?
Or not get laid.
Or not get laid. We'll find out. Either way. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This has been Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.